Gamers, it's been a while since I've been here for the shit I'll probably never play. We'll get into that a bit later on, but until then, guys, it's Friday. It's time to show off what I've collected over the last couple of weeks. So pull back, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about what games we've picked up over the last couple of weeks. Cheers, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, YouTube proudly presents to you its #1, I think, gaming collecting show in the world! I am Mad Mikey, and this is the shit I'll probably never play! Mad Mikey Gaming. G'day all you mad gamers, I'm Mad Mikey, I bloody come from the land down under. And if you're new to the show, welcome. I noticed I've got a couple new subscribers. So guys, if you don't know, Fridays are the show where I'll actually show off the gaming stuff that I've picked up over the last couple of weeks. But I'm going to try something a bit different this week. But if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell everybody about it. If you like today's show, don't forget, I know you got 2 thumbs, I only want 1, so don't forget to hit the like button. And while you're at it, don't forget to tell your mother, tell your old man, tell your brother, tell your sister, my cousin Nico. Tell him, and tell all your friends about Mad Mikey Gaming, because they might like games. Been in a bit of the wars over the last couple of weeks, I'm not gonna lie. If you watched the last shit I'll probably never play, you would have heard that I'd cracked my iPhone, which I use primarily to actually film these things. And not a week later, I managed to crack it again. So that was almost a costly thing. They were able to sort of fix it for free because I did actually drop it on carpet, which was a bit of a weird thing to happen. You know, you just drop your phone on carpet and crack, there you go. So they actually fixed it, so that was really good. I was really appreciative of that. I've been in the wars, but it hasn't stopped me from playing games, buying games, and all those crazy kinds of things. So without further ado, let's get into today's show, where I'm going to actually try doing something a bit different. So if you actually enjoy sort of just this little quick change that I'm doing, don't forget to hit the comments in the section below if that's something that you want to see. But we'll just try it out and we'll see how we go for this week. Now, I picked this up a couple of weeks ago because if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been sort of uploading the shit I'll probably never play constantly these days. It's just because I really don't want to sort of just come on and put on like 2 games that are old games or new games and everything. So I really just want to sort of make it that there's a minimum of 5 games that I can actually talk to you about and give my memories or my thoughts about the games just very briefly. The first thing that I want to show you guys this week is actually I picked up the Link amiibo for the Nintendo Switch. And now, I don't know if you guys can probably see over there, but I do have quite a bit of a collection of the Disney Infinity and a few of the amiibos. I'm a big Zelda fan, so I just walked into a store randomly and saw it there, and I hadn't actually seen this one around, let alone at launch. So I was actually quite rapt to pick this up. I don't actually keep them boxed. I do take them out. I know you're a collector, but yeah, I have no intentions of selling these. So I don't know why I haven't actually taken it out of the box yet. I'm actually enjoying it and I want to use it during the game. That's just that little awesome thing that I picked up. And in something a bit new, last night when I was out, I was in the Target, and for $25, I picked up Rogue One, the Star Wars story, on Blu-ray. Now, when I actually went and saw this at the cinemas, I'd been up really late that night, and we went to an early session, and I actually fell asleep, believe it or not. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as you guys can probably see. But I've actually since watched it, and I actually really enjoy the movie. It's a bit slow to sort of pick up in terms of the movie. It doesn't start off as a normal Star Wars movie if you haven't seen it. So at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, this is a bit weird. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this movie. It's got a really great third act in it. Just the action was top notch at the end. Probably, if you've probably heard about it, a lot of people rave about the end and how it was really action packed. and really exciting. So I've got all of the Blu-rays of the Star Wars movies. Hopefully it comes out on 4K at some point, because I do have a 4K TV, so I'd be really pretty rapt to watch that in 4K as well. But now, onto the games. Now, I only picked this one up yesterday, and I'd actually called up around... I'd actually seen on the EB Games website that they were restocking them, so I sort of checked around my local areas. I called up my local place. They didn't have any left available. They only had pre-orders, so I called up my go-to store, where I've got a long-term guy that I've actually been dealing with for probably the better half of 15 years now through EB Games. Like, I met him at a local store, but now he's actually running one of the major stores in the city. And also my good friend Yeliz, who is a cosplayer. She's actually going overseas to her first con that she's actually been invited to and paid to go see. So, guys, if you've never seen Yeliz Cosplay, she's really talented, guys. And I wish her all the best. I actually went there to lend her my Connor's foam tomahawk because she couldn't take any metal ones, and I've actually got the metal one as well, and so does she. But obviously going overseas, you can't actually take like metal weapons. Back to the game. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the actual Wii U. So this may very well be the last Wii U game that they bring out. I purely bought this for collector's purposes because I've obviously got it on the Switch and I'm thoroughly enjoying it on the Switch. I've put over 30 hours into it so far, and I really was hoping that it was going to come in plastic. And actually, when the guy pulled it out, because they did put it aside for me a bit longer than what they should have, I was pretty happy. But then I said, oh, do you have any in plastic? Because I'm probably not going to play this. It's really for collector's purposes. So they went around, they had a look. They couldn't find any, unfortunately. And then they actually came out and said none of them came in plastic. And that was actually reaffirmated when I went to another EB game store that night. They said, yeah, they just did not come in plastic, which is really weird. That's just asking for something bad to happen, in my opinion. But yeah, look, this is purely a collector's piece. I love the Wii U as a console in terms of that thing. And yeah, it's purely just to get this as a collector's piece. Now, while I was on holidays, I had a delivery at work because I do get a lot of my stuff sent to me at work just because it's a bit more secure. It's a bit more central because I do work in the city, so things generally get there a bit quicker. And I was on holidays for a week and a half, so I wasn't actually able to pick it up. That's why sort of there's been a bit of a gap between the last shit I'll probably never play and this one. It's actually the Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands on the Xbox 360. Now, I did actually originally pick this one up when it came out, and I sort of traded in. I don't know why. It was just back in that stage where I was sort of trying to go all digital, so I just traded up a lot of my games. I have since sort of got it on the PlayStation 3 digitally because they had a huge sale a couple of Christmases ago where I just got all the Prince of Persias just to have them digital because they were just dog cheap. And now this game has the unfortunate history of actually being bought out on the same day as Red Dead Redemption and Alan Wake. Now, I was actually lucky enough to be able to afford all three of those games on the one day, and I ended up playing this one first because I'm a huge Prince of Persia fan. I have done a sort of video on why I do love the Prince of Persia series. And this one was actually a really, really good game. They did a lot of good things. They changed it up from the Sands of Time trilogy sort of formula, even though it does sort of play in that world and part of the trilogy. And it was a bit weird because like there was really no mention or no sort of thoughts about that in terms of it being in between the first Sands of Times and Warrior Within. I think they really missed an opportunity as well with this game to sort of throw the Dahaka in there at the end and sort of just give that sort of cliffhanger ending that's sort of where the prince went on the run. But there was a lot of really awesome elemental powers in this game that you hadn't seen in the previous games. And I actually thoroughly enjoy this game. I've played through it actually quite a few times, very much like I have with the rest of the Sands of the Time series. But if you've never picked up this game, I do highly recommend it. It's a game that, as I said, I've already played, so I mean, you know, I'll probably go back and play it again someday. Just maybe do a marathon of the Sands of Time, because this definitely does sort of fit in there. Now, the rest of the games, they're all brand new. So, I mean, technically, I suppose some of those are all retro games now because they are last gen. not really. Last night I picked up Has Been Heroes on the Nintendo Switch. Now I was actually mulling up around whether I was going to actually pick up this game because you could get it digitally. It was $40 digitally. But then when I saw that it was actually $40 with the physical edition, I was like, yep, cool, let's try that out. So I did actually play it a bit last night, and it's actually really fun. It plays sort of like Plants vs. Zombies / Dark Souls. Now you're probably thinking, Mikey, that's a really weird thing to say. There's a lot of permadeath in the game. It's you basically have 3 lines, and you have to manage your 3 heroes to sort of take off just hordes of guys. So that's where it's sort of like the Plants vs. Zombies. But it's a really hard game. Like I was playing it a bit last night just to try it out, and I didn't win 1 round of it. It wasn't until today when I was coming back home on the way on the train that I actually did win a couple of them. So it does have a lot of sort of learning curve on there. It doesn't sort of teach you a lot, but there's actually some really cool mechanics, and I'm actually thoroughly enjoying this game. So I would recommend it if you're out for a new Nintendo Switch game. Definitely pick this one up if you want a bit of fun. I mean, I know Mrs. Mikeey loves Plants vs. Zombies. I did sort of say to her, yeah, you might enjoy this or something. She's like, yeah. I don't think she would, unfortunately. And going back a couple of weeks, just obviously you guys have seen the unboxing, Mass Effect Andromeda. The recent patch has arrived today, which is supposed to fix a lot of things. I'm about 32 hours into this game right now, and look, the bugs are probably the main problem that I'm actually having with this game. I am thoroughly enjoying the story. There's a lot of sort of fetch quests that really don't feel like they would sort of tie in to any sort of overarching story in the game other than sort of helping out that planet that you're on and just really quick wins, really. But the patch dropped, and I sort of did give it about sort of 20 minutes or so before, and I did a mission, completed it. I was like, yes, you can see a bit of the texture graphics in the faces looking a bit better. But then when I went to a next mission point, I couldn't activate it. So I really hope that they're going to fix all this. I know that BioWare, I do trust them in terms of fixing it, but I really think that this game should have been pushed back to make sure that it was the game that they wanted it without all the backlash that obviously has ensued. I do quite understand a lot. I don't agree a lot with how people have been responding, but I do actually understand their grievances with what's been going on, because there's been quite a few instances where quests haven't been able to be completed because, just the quest isn't there to complete. Like, there's nobody there to talk to when you're supposed to talk to people. But hopefully once they fix it up, I will sort of get back into it full on. I'll probably still be playing it tonight, to be honest. Sometimes it just takes logging out and then logging back into it. I really don't want to fall into the trap of sort of buying this game and then waiting for it to be fixed. Very much like how I play like the NBA games, where I sort of wait until the mid-season where the rosters are finalized, and then I start playing it. So then I basically paid it for it, and I'm waiting like a good 6 months to actually really get into it. Mass Effect, in terms of whether I would recommend it, I definitely would recommend it. You sort of do get over all those clunky animations and the bad lip syncing. It doesn't really detract you from the game that much, but the bugs are the worst part of it. And while I've been waiting for the new patch to come out over the last couple of days, I did pick up Persona 5. Now, I'm a huge fan of this series, and I've probably put in about sort of 3 hours into it so far, and I've been loving every second of this game. The art style is amazing. The voice acting is really, really cool. I know it's been out for a while already in Japan, in your Eastern countries. This is really, I love Persona 4 Golden. Actually, the first time that I did pick that up was on the Vita, never having sort of a PlayStation 2 to play them on. But I'm really enjoying this game. It's just the sort of game that you need to be different, because there are so many sort of open world games these days that are like action RPGs, when it's really just good to go back to these simplified turn-based RPG games that have got a cutesy story and really beautiful graphics. This is definitely a game that I'm going to sort of be going sort of on and off with between Mass Effect while they are fixing up their issues. And in the last new game that I picked up last week was actually the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 final remixes. or just remixes. 1.8's obviously out, and I'm gonna wait for that. Like, but these were both the same price. I picked it up at Target for $55. So $55 for 6 games, that's a really cool price. Now I understand that some of the games on this are actually really short, but it's Kingdom Hearts. The first time I ever played a Kingdom Hearts game was 2, when I did actually initially get a PlayStation 2. And I really, really loved it for some strange reason. Like, I understand why people love this game, but it was definitely a game that I didn't think that I would enjoy. But I got right into it, and I was loving it. And now I did get 1.5 on the PlayStation 3, but then I sort of heard rumors that they were going to be bringing it on the PlayStation 4, so that's why I didn't sort of bother with the 2.5. But this is going to consume a lot of my life. I do thoroughly intend on actually playing this game, or this series of games at some point. And I love the story. I love how it sort of changes up with each world that you go to, and you've got all your classic Disney characters in there and Disney worlds, and just the characters are amazing on this game, and I really, really enjoy it. So if you can pick it up on the cheap for 6 games, like $50 is not really stretching your budget on that for the sheer amount of hours that you would actually get from these games. Now, you may be noticing that I've got a bit of a box. Now, I have cut this open, but I actually haven't had a look what's inside it. Adrock, or Adam, you may have heard me talking about him previously. He's been a long-time subscriber of the channel, and he's a really good friend now, to be honest, because we chat a lot. We talk about a lot of gaming things. We just talk about life as well in general. And the other day he was sort of talking to me. He's like, "Oh, I noticed on your back screen on my other videos that sort of your PlayStation and your Sega Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 and everything is a bit lacking." He goes, "Give us a look, because I'll actually want to have a look, because I'm in the same boat," sort of thing. So I took a couple of photos, and little did I know that the little sneak was actually scouting my games, because he said that he was going to send me a couple of games of his doubles. I don't actually know what he sent me, so we're going to do a bit of a lucky dip. But I just want to really thank Adam, because he's been amazing since I started. He's always been supportive of what I've been doing here, and he's always commenting down below. So guys, if you sort of see him, Adrock, giving a comment, don't forget to give him a little hey. So, oh, a little bit of foam. So what have we got? First one, oh shit, Colin McRae on the PlayStation 1. If you guys don't know, like, I've been sort of talking that I do want to start really diving into my PlayStation collection. So this is really cool. Thank you, Adam. This is, wow. Colin McRae is such a great series. Like, it was probably behind your Gran Turismo games in terms of back here. This is where this really started, and it's a very time-tested series. Oh, that's really awesome. Thank you, Adam. Oh, is this your phone number? No, I think it's got something. Oh, it's got a bit of a cracked screen, but hey, he did say that some of them were going to have a couple of cracked screens and whatnot, but the disc, very fine, looks very playable. That's really cool. That is awesome. Can't believe you didn't take the stickers off, man. But yeah, that's really cool. 12 laser model road, 52 unique international stages, the most realistic handling yet. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Adam. Now, what else do we have in here? Oh, it feels like another PlayStation game. Oh, shit! Virtua Fighter on the Dream. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is awesome, Adam. Oh, you're a legend. Oh my god. Wow. I'm actually a fan of the Virtua Fighter series, and I do know that sort of it did start on the arcades, but then they sort of did make their way to Sega. Look, I don't really care about the way these cases, because, I mean, look, with Dreamcast and PlayStation games, because they're getting so old, it is very rare and very hard for you to actually find a good case, unless you're actually paying top dollar. But, oh, Adam, man, you are the man. I was not expecting a Dreamcast game. Yes, and it's VGA compatible. Oh, you can get the arcade stick. I don't have the arcade stick. Like, I enjoy a good fighter, so I'd actually be really interested to have a look at this. I don't know what the 3TB stands for. 3 terabyte? I don't think that would fit on one disc. But, oh, that's so decent of you, man. Thank you. Okay, it feels like there's one more in here. Another Dreamcast game. WWE Attitude, yes! Woo! I've been eyeing this game off for so bloody long. Like, I've been sort of looking at it and being like, oh yeah, I'll get it one day, I'll hold off on. But, oh, thank you. That is really awesome. I remember actually having this game on the PlayStation 1, just when I was sort of wasn't in love with wrestling anymore. And I'd sort of picked it up just on a whim, just to sort of see what it was. Because I'm like looking at the back cover going like, who's The Rock? Who's Stone Cold? What's this Generation X? Like, I saw The Rock name and I'm like, Jesus, they're really running out of names for that. 40 of your favorite stars. Wow. Adam, you didn't have to, man. I really appreciate this. This is amazing. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. And the guy didn't even... I offered to pay shipping, but he didn't want any part of it. But, oh, that's awesome. Adam, you are the man. Thank you so much. That's going to be it for today's show. I'm as surprised as hopefully the rest of you are. Like that. Oh, Adam, I can't say your name enough. Hey, baby. But that's it for today's show, guys. Monday, I'm actually going to be trying something new, a new Monday show. It's going to be called Mad At or Mad About. Sort of a combination of the Why I Love series and Getting to Know Mad Mikeey. So I'm going to leave it as a bit of a surprise to what it's about. So basically what I want to, it's going to be a sort of pros and cons kind of show. Just where I sort of talk about if I'm mad about, you know, like, yeah, or just mad at a certain thing or a topic or a gaming system or whatever it is. That's what I'm going to be trying out on Monday. But obviously Tuesdays and Thursdays are my gaming news opinions. Just where I sort of rehash what's going on in the gaming world and give my opinions on it. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Adam. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget to give us some comments. Don't forget my social medias are all linked down the bottom. I've also got the Gamer Nation podcast that we do every fortnight or 2 weeks. And yeah, thank you guys. Have a fantastic weekend.